Power Director Made Simple. One of my viewers, Keith, wrote asking for some clarification of the difference between the light green and dark green areas that show up in the timeline of the advanced editing mode. Let's take a look. I'm going to drag down a title to the timeline. I'll use one of my custom titles. I'm going to zoom in on the timeline. And let's increase the height of the track just so you can see what we are doing. I'm going to right click on the title and set the duration to 10 seconds. If you click on Edit, you can click on the Animation tab at the very top. You can also select the In, Out, and Loop animations. The only control for timing of the animation is the slider bar at the top. If you have two or more title elements present, then you will not see the differences between them in this simple edit mode. You can only see and work on one element at a time. So let's exit the simple editing mode. We're going to hit F2 to enter the advanced editing mode. And there we're going to look under the preview window, and there is the title keyframe timeline. Notice the light green and dark green areas that Keith was questioning. Let's hover the mouse cursor over either of the dark green areas, and it says no animation. Notice that it also says duration 1 second. If you hover over the light green area, it also says no animation, but the duration is 8 seconds. So if you add up the three sections, 1 second plus 8 seconds plus the final 1 second, you should get the total of 10 seconds, which is the duration time that we set for the title in the main timeline. Now pay attention now, because here comes the definitions. There might be a quiz on this later. The first dark green area is the in animation. The next light green area is the display time for the text while it is stationary or no animation is in effect. And the far right dark green area is for the out animation. Right now, there are no specific animations applied to this text element, so the entire text just remains stationary for the full 10 seconds. Let's change that. Click on the Animation tab. Then click the In animation. The No animation is currently selected. If you hover the mouse cursor over any of the animations, you'll get a brief view of what happens. If you click any animations to apply it, you get the same brief view of what happens to your title in the preview window. Now you can pick any animation that you want, whatever pleases your heart. I'm going to select Stomp, and I'm going to click on it to apply the animation. I'm going to click Home and then Play to see what happens. Notice the animation happens very quickly in 1 second, but the next 9 seconds, there is no other action. Now, hover the mouse over the first dark green in the title timeline. Notice it now says Stomp for me with a duration of 1 second. So I have now changed it from no animation to the Stomp animation, but I have not yet changed the duration of the animation. Keith, pay attention, because this is where the line between the dark green and the light green area comes into play. Let's say I wanted the Stomp animation to last 5 seconds instead of just 1 second. I'll place the cursor over the line until it changes to the double arrow and then drag it to the 5-second spot as indicated by the yellow timeline above, which has multiple divisions, making it kind of difficult to figure out exactly where the 5-second mark is. Or you can look at the analog display just above the timeline until it reads 500. That analog display is much more accurate and much easier to read. Now hit home and then play. So far, all of this could have been done in the simple editing mode, but here is where the advanced editing mode comes in handy. First, it gives you a graphical view of the timings of the animations. Second, it gives you a view of how to make the timings of multiple text elements different. And third, it will allow changing the overall time, which is especially important when there are 2 or more elements in the title. Let's see how that works. Well, first, I'm going to click on the plus T icon at the top to add another text title. I'll type in Power Director, and I'm going to move it until it's directly on top of Made Simple. Now, it might help to temporarily turn off the I on the Made Simple track, or you can also just use the horizontal and vertical align buttons to get it exact. If you turned off the I on the one track, make sure to turn it back on. Now, look at the timeline towards the bottom. If we are not going to be using any keyframes, we can hit the down arrow on each track to collapse the menu. This just makes it easier to see when there are multiple elements involved in just the one title. Now, let's rearrange the elements. Click on track 2 and drag it up to track 1 and just drop it there. Now the names of the track elements match the way of what we are going to want things to appear. Now let's say that I wanted each track to appear just one at a time. That means the power directors would have to disappear as soon as Made Simple were to appear. We can do that with the beginning and ending lines of each element in the timeline. So let's make Power Director disappear after 5 seconds. I'm going to drag the ending line of Power Director to the 5-second location. I'm going to click on the Made Simple track and drag the beginning line of Made Simple to the 5-second location. You can hit home and then play. So there you go, Keith. That's exactly what the dark and light green areas are all about. Thanks for asking that question. But wait, there's more. For only $19.95, you can get... Oh, wait a minute. That's the wrong commercial. Before I go, I want to show how these title element timings can work in a real opening title. I'll just change each font color to my preset of a yellow. I'm going to increase the font size of Made Simple to 72 and then recenter it. Then I'm going to insert a background by clicking the icon at the top. I have this screenshot to use. I'll select it and then click on Stretch. I'm going to click OK to exit. Now I'm going to add a music effect to the main timeline on audio track 1. I'm going to trim off the first 1 3/4 seconds, which is about 1 in 22 frames. I'm going to trim whatever is left over on the end to match the 10 seconds. I'm going to click on the audio mixer icon. For track 1, I'm going to click on the fade in and the fade out. I'm going to close the audio mixer. I'm going to click home and then play. Now that's what I call an opening title. Now if any viewer has a question about anything in PowerDirector, just leave me a comment and I'll try to get back to you with an answer. Once again and over again, please subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.